Archangel Michael says, I am begging you to open this message before 9 p.m. I promise you'll cry when you hear what I have to say. But hurry, this message will vanish in 35 seconds. Open quickly. Archangel Michael says, I am begging you to open this message before 9 p.m. I promise you'll cry when you hear what I have to say. But hurry, this message will vanish in 35 seconds. Open quickly. You are not here by accident. You did not stumble in because the clock was kind, or because the algorithm was merciful. You arrived because something tugged on the thread that connects your heart to heaven, and that thread is humming tonight like a violin string drawn by an unseen hand. Listen closely. The room you are in is sacred ground now. It is not just a bedroom or a corner of a busy home or a quiet office. It has become a doorway. Feel the air shift. Feel that hush that sits on your shoulders like a shawl. That's not fear, though your pulse is stepping higher. That's recognition. This is the moment your spirit planned for long before your calendar existed. You've been carrying a weight that pretends to be normal. It hides in your routines, in the endless scrolling, in the brave face you wear when no one deserves the truth of your ache. It shows up as tired eyes and tight breaths. It shows up when you laugh too quickly so no one notices the crack in your voice. Tonight, we remove it. Tonight, we cut the rope that keeps your soul moored to an old storm. Here is something you need to hear, and it will feel like a mirror turning toward the morning. You will see yourself differently. Not as the person who collected disappointments like rain in a pail, but as the one who walked through each downpour and still kept a tiny flame cupped in both palms. That flame is about to become a lighthouse. Stay with me. First, breathe in through your nose and hold for 3 steady seconds. Breathe out through your mouth and let your shoulders fall. The body keeps score. We can't pretend our way out of this, we must release it. Let your jaw unclench. Let your hands rest. Let your spine lift as if some kind presence is taking your weight and saying, I've got you. I want to show you a memory, but we will visit it like travelers who come with flowers, not knives. It's the day you swallowed your tears because you believed your grief was inconvenient for everyone else. Maybe you were young, maybe it was last week. You stood near a window or a doorway, and you told yourself, it's not the worst. I'm fine. But a small voice answered, but I'm not. I heard that voice. I marked that moment. Heaven recorded it not to shame you, but to honor you. Tonight we return, and we let that voice be held. I have seen the way you love, with quiet courage, paying the rent with grit and prayer, bandaging your heart in silence, offering everyone else the last piece of joy on the plate even when you hadn't eaten. I have watched you stare into the dark uncertainty and say, maybe tomorrow. Hear me. Tomorrow has come. It knocks right now. Please open. There is a letter with your name on it in the realm of the unseen, and its seal broke just as you clicked here. The words are luminous. They say, the delay ends. They say the door appears. They say, what you lost is not returning as it left. It is returning refined. The world likes to call it coincidence when timing aligns like this. Heaven calls it promise-keeping. You think of the promises you were given and the ones you gave. Some were traded like currency in a market of temporary feelings. Some were carved into the bark of your spirit, still there, still growing rings around the vow. You have not failed just because the road bent. You have not failed just because your hands are tired. You made it here. That counts more than you know. There will be 1 hour tonight before 9 p.m. when the room will feel slightly brighter without a lamp. That is your hour. When it comes, take a paper, any paper, and write the thing you're afraid to confess even to yourself. Write the name that still knots your breath. Write the regret that leaves a taste of metal on your tongue. Then pause and place your hand over it. Whisper, "This no longer owns me." You don't need a ceremony. You need a decision that becomes a doorway. I will stand guard. Do not be surprised if, as you write, a memory arrives carrying the scent of rain or an old psalm. It may hurt for a breath, as if you are stretching a muscle you forgot existed. Then it softens. Then you notice your heartbeat isn't charging anymore, it's strolling. The little flame in your palms grows taller, and your room feels like the first hour of dawn. There's more. There is someone who said words about you that never belonged to you. They hung like wet clothes on your shoulders. You wore them because you were too weary to protest. Tonight, I remove them. I pick each one from your spirit and hand them back to the mouth that birthed them, not in anger but in justice. You don't have to rehearse who you are for those who profit from your confusion. Your identity outranks their narrative. If you have a mirror nearby, don't look at your face yet. First, place your hand on your heart again and count, slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the rhythm that existed before criticism, before comparison, before you learned how to apologize for your own light. Now lift your eyes. Notice the gentleness that's returning to your features like a tide. That is you. That is you without the costume of coping. There will be a sign within the next day, something small and oddly specific. A message you needed will arrive wrapped in serendipity. A name you haven't heard in years, a number that repeats, a lyric you thought only you remembered. When you see it, don't just smile and keep moving. Receive it. Let it land. Heaven is extravagant. Even small signs are designed like constellations. You have spent seasons learning what you are not. Not the rumor, not the failure, not the almost, not the second best friend, not the emergency contact who never receives the thank you. You are about to spend a new season learning what you are, chosen, fought for, seen too deeply to ever be misplaced. This knowledge won't make you arrogant. It will make you generous in the way only the healed can be generous. There is a door that others could not walk you through. They tried with advice or with critiques polished to look like wisdom. They meant well, or they didn't. Either way, the door remained closed. It required a key forged in waiting and wonder, in tears and tenacity. This message is that key turning in the lock. Hear the click. Feel the hinge loosen. The door did not resist you, it waited for you to stop apologizing to it. Before the hour, gather 3 things: a glass of water, a small piece of cloth you no longer need, and a pen. The water reminds you that your spirit flows. The cloth will serve as a placeholder for what you're releasing. The pen will swear your freedom into ink. Set them on a table. When the air shifts and it will touch the cloth and say, "You served your time." Not because the cloth is magical, but because your mind needs anchors. Then fold it once and set it aside. You will be surprised how the simplest action can puncture the heaviest lie. You are worried about being too late. You replay that phrase, "I should have known sooner," as if late arrivals are worth less. Listen, Time bows to transformation. It does not punish those who rise from the floor. It does not scold those who had to learn the difference between protection and avoidance. You are right on time because now is the only time anyone has ever had. There is an apology that will never come. It will not arrive neatly dressed in accountability. Do not wait for it. Forgive anyway, not to absolve the harm, but to set the hostage free. The hostage is not them. It's the corner of your heart that keeps looking at the door, waiting for footsteps that have no intention of walking. When you choose to unlock that corner, your joy won't have to ask permission to laugh loudly. I have seen your future nights, and they are different from the ones that came before. I see a table where conversation tastes like warmth instead of suspicion. I see your hands making something: food, art, order, home, and it restores you instead of depleting you. I see a message lighting up your device that makes you laugh out loud, the kind of laugh that resets the room. And I see you sleeping without rehearsing arguments you will never have. This is not vague comfort dressed as prophecy. The civics matter. Within 7 days, there will be an opportunity you nearly dismiss because it looks too simple. Don't dismiss it. It is a low door that opens into a wide room. The hand that opens it is gentle, and you will recognize the gentleness because you will have practiced it on yourself first. That is the order of miracles. They practice on us before they blossom through us. Now, about the sorrow that still shows up uninvited. It will vanish in one night, but it will change shape. Think of it like a river that has found a truer bed. It won't flood every conversation. It won't drag you backward by the ankles when you try to rest. It will move through, and in moving, it will carry debris downstream that you could never lift alone. Your job is not to dam it or drown in it. Your job is to let it flow and notice the banks greening again. You will hear, in the next days, an echo of today's voice in unlikely places. A stranger will phrase something as if they borrowed the sentence from your secret journal. A street sign will line up with a whisper. A door will close softly instead of slamming, and you will feel rescued without anyone noticing. These are not accidents. They are choreography. You are being danced across a threshold. There is a person you loved who did not know how to hold what you gave. They tried to fit it in their pockets. It slipped through. They tried to keep it in their calendar. It outgrew every block. This was not a failure of your love. It was too wide for their container at the time. Release the demand that they retroactively be someone else. Bless what was true. Bless what is done. Make room for what is on its way, carrying both gentleness and backbone. When the clock approaches your appointed hour, stand up. Shake your hands as if flinging water from your fingertips. This sounds foolish, do it anyway. The body responds to these cues. You're telling your nervous system, we're letting go now. Then, with your pen, write one statement you want to become truer than your old story. Write it in present tense. Write it like a vow. You won't shout it. You'll breathe it. You'll feel your ribcage agree. You have believed survival demanded you shrink. Survival asked that for a time. Now life asks something else. Expansion without apology. This is not demanding more noise from you. It's inviting more presence. When you walk into the same rooms after tonight, people will say something is different. They won't be able to name it. Good. Let the difference be felt more than explained. Let your quiet become contagious. There is a financial fear that chews the edges of your peace. It will not be solved by obsession. It will be tended by strategy and favor working together. Expect a nudge to reach out to someone you've been hesitant to message, a colleague, an old friend, a mentor. Expect a practical step that looks ordinary, revisiting an application, reorganizing a plan, saying yes to a second look at something you wrote off. These small obediences, they multiply. You are not fragile for crying. You are faithful for allowing your heart to wash itself clean. If tears come, let them. Each one is a messenger saying, "The ice is thawing." You have been winter for long enough. Spring has the right to find you without you apologizing for the mud at your feet. Joy is messy before it is radiant. You are allowed to track it through the house. Take a moment now and forgive the version of yourself who didn't know what you know tonight. Forgive them for the compromises that were just survival in fancier clothes. Forgive them for trusting too few or too much. Forgive them for pausing on the bridge longer than you would have preferred. And thank them. They got you to the bridge. You are the one who will walk across. If you keep an object close, a ring, a photo, a folded note, hold it for a second. Let it become heavy with intention. Speak over it the future it will sit in. Objects, remember, too. They carry the energy of the rooms they live in. You are transforming the room. The objects will follow. The next time you see that small keepsake, it will hum with tonight's obedience. You will be tempted, after this, to go hunting for more signs to prove you weren't silly to hope. You will need to hunt. Signs will arrive like birds landing on a fence you happen to be walking past. Notice them and smile, but don't make your joy dependent on counting them. Make your joy dependent on breathing the truth. You are loved. You are guarded. You are entering. When shame tries its old trick, arriving disguised as your own voice, answer it with facts. I am learning. I am allowed to be new. I can be wise without being wary of everyone. Speak these softly, the way you would reassure a child waking from a bad dream. A child is you. The dream is over. Now, take that glass of water. Sip slowly, as if hydration were a sacrament. Imagine it washing the corners of your mind that collected dust. Imagine it carrying loosened grief away. When you finish, place the empty glass down with gratitude. Empty is not a lack. Empty is a readiness to be filled by something that nourishes instead of numbs. There is a sound in the spirit like paper tearing. It is the old contract breaking, where you subconsciously agreed to be small to keep others comfortable, where you agreed to repeat a panic pattern because that's what was modeled for you. That contract is gone. In its place is a simple, tender covenant. You will honor your heart while honoring others. You will tell the truth gently. You will make room for what fits. You will let go of what does not. If you have the strength, stand for 1 minute and sway a little. Let your body rock. This is what trees do in wind. They don't fight the breeze that brings rain. As you sway, picture the future version of you walking into a room you once dreaded. Watch how easily they breathe. Watch how they listen without bracing. Watch how they smile like someone who belongs without begging. That is not pretend. It is rehearsal. Soon, someone will notice the way your words soften without losing their spine. They may accuse you of changing. Agree with them. You are changing. You are becoming the version of you that your younger self would have trusted immediately. If that makes others uncomfortable, bless them as they adjust or as they exit. Not everyone who met you in survival will recognize you in peace, and that's okay. Lastly, I want you to mark this night. Write the date. Write the hour. Write one sentence about what shifted. If you have no words, draw a small circle. That circle can mean cycle broken, protection encircling, wholeness returning. Put it somewhere you can see. You don't need a shrine. You need a reminder. Future you will glance at it on a difficult afternoon, and remember, I know how to open the door when the air shifts. The message will fade from your screen soon, but it won't fade from your spirit. When the minute ends, the miracle begins its slow, steady unfurling. If you need to revisit this, do it before the hour. The invitation is tender but time-bound tonight for your sake, not mine, so you don't postpone what your heart is ready to receive. Go now, prepare your 3 simple things, and wait for the room to brighten without a lamp. I am with you when you breathe, when you write, when you fold the cloth, when you set the glass down, when you choose yourself without abandoning kindness. Nothing can steal what is being placed in your hands. Not ruer, not delay, not fear. You will feel lightness as if the floor rose to meet your feet. That is what it feels like when heaven keeps a promise. When the time comes, and it will feel like a warm hush, whisper only this: I am ready. Then step through. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Walk with me one more breath. The moment you whisper, I am ready, your room will not thunder or crack. There will be a subtle tilt, like a compass realigning when a hidden magnet is moved. That's how destiny behaves, not always loud, always precise. You'll notice it in the way your shoulders settle, in the way your thoughts stop sprinting and begin to flow like a river that finally found its rightful bed. Where you are going, old labels can't follow. The ones that stuck to you in crowded rooms and lonely nights, the ones that said too late, too much, not enough, leave them on the coat rack by the door you just crossed. You won't need them where the air is clear and the windows open to a horizon you have not seen in years. Night creates a new altitude. Breathe it in slowly so your heart doesn't get lightheaded with sudden freedom. There will be a conversation you've dreaded, and it will soften. You won't rehearse each sentence as if a judge sits behind every syllable. You'll speak plainly, the way truth speaks when it knows it is safe. If silence answers you, you won't panic. You'll recognize the silence by its flavor, not the cold kind that withholds affection, but the warm kind that lets understanding land. In that pause, your dignity will take its seat and refuse to stand for disrespect again. You have a name that fits you better than the one worry keeps calling. Listen for it. It's in the way a friend pronounces your joy without hesitation. It's in the way a child looks at you like you are already good news. It's in the way the evening light rests on your face without asking for performance. When you hear it, let it replace the loud alias that fear keeps shouting through a megaphone. You are returning to your true name. There is a small kindness you almost offered yesterday and then hid because you thought it was too little to matter. Offer it now. Small kindnesses are secret levers in the machinery of fate. They unlock corridors that cleverness can't find. The next door you step through will be oiled by a kindness you gave to someone who couldn't repay you, and in the ledger heaven keeps, that oil never runs dry. Some nights are for weeping. This one is for naming. Name the thresholds you've crossed without applause, The mornings you rose after your heart broke, the days you chose peace when rage was within reach, the moments you told the truth even when lying would have bought you easy comfort. Write them like medals you pin quietly to the inside of your jacket. You won't need to display them for others. You will feel their weight and stand taller. There is a promise you tucked beneath practical plans because it seemed too tender to carry in public. Ick it out. Hold it to the light. And notice it hasn't wilted. It was never fragile. It was waiting. You'll recognize that promise by how it makes your lungs expand. If a dream constricts you, it's not your size. The one that's yours gives you more room inside your own chest. When the thoughts come to negotiate you back into smallness, answer without anger. Say, "Thank you for trying to keep me safe." We don't need those tactics anymore. Watch how the thoughts soften when you speak to them like loyal dogs who only know one trick. Teach them a new trick: rest. You can still be careful without being afraid of every corridor. You can still be wise without second-guessing your own instincts until they go silent. Expect a knock from opportunity that wears ordinary clothes. It will sound like a coffee invitation, a simple email, a line in a posting that makes your name stir. The timing will be strangely gentle, as if it waited until your hands were free. Say yes. You won't need to force it. You won't need to decorate your no into a yes. This one arrives shaped like alignment. You will feel that in your bones first, long before your mind finishes its calculations. If you've been grieving someone or something that did not return, set a chair for it in your heart and let it sit without explanation. Grief that is welcomed loses its sharp elbows. It becomes a guest who tells the truth and then falls asleep on the couch while you keep tidying your life with calm hands. The house can hold both, what was lost and what has arrived. You will not break from carrying both. You will become whole from honoring both. You might wake tonight and feel the air listening. If you do, speak a single sentence about what you are building next. Keep it clear. Keep it kind. Keep it yours. The listening air is not superstition. It is the way your spirit writes instructions for the morning. When you rise, your feet will know where to go before your calendar knows what to call it. You've asked quietly whether the delay was punishment. It wasn't. It was protection while foundations were poured where you could not see. Houses that rush to meet the sky without honoring the soil become headlines for collapse. Your life is being built to outlast weather, not to impress drive-by opinions. Feel the thickness of the beams settling into place tonight. Stability is a holy sound. There is a fear that sits at the edge of your generosity, whispering, "If you give, you will be emptied." Watch what happens when you pour from your overflow instead of from your wounds. The difference is simple. Overflow replenishes, wounds resent. You will learn the rhythm of refilling. It will become as natural as breathing. Inhale presence. Exhale prejudice. Inhale peace. Exhale performance. The pattern will steady your days. Someone will try to remind you who you were. Smile, and let them finish their sentence. Then continue being who you are becoming. You don't owe anyone the courtesy of staying small so their comfort doesn't have to move its furniture. You can bless them without boarding the same old train to the same old station where your hope used to miss its ride. Gather the little evidence. A conversation without tightness. A meal you taste slowly. A night where you don't argue with ghosts. These are not minor wins. They are the beginnings of a new language. Speak it daily until it becomes the one your life thinks in. Over time, your calendar will translate to fewer obligations that bruise, more commitments that breathe. If you keep a plant in the room, water it and watch its leaves lift. Consider that a sermon without words. What you water rises. What you starve shrinks. Tonight, water your courage. Water your clarity. Water your refusal to apologize for healing. Then watch the leaves of your choices angle toward light you did not know the morning would bring. There will be a number that repeats for you, or a color that keeps showing up where it doesn't belong. That's not to make you superstitious, it's a breadcrumb trail. Follow it as far as peace remains your companion. If anxiety starts driving, pause. You don't need to chase signs. You only need to walk with them. They are escorts, not bosses. You are permitted to rest before you are finished. Completion is not the price of rest. Breath is. If you need to close your eyes for 5 minutes and feel the floor hold you, do it. The world won't end because you laid down your armor to oil its hinges. In fact, when you lift it again, it will fit better. It will move with you instead of rubbing your heart raw. Think of the people who love you in quiet ways, the ones who remember your coffee order, who send a song, who let you leave the conversation without making you pay a toll of explanation. Let their names rise and sit softly in your chest. These are your lanterns. You don't need a stadium of approval when you're guided by a handful of true lights. Before the hour closes, speak grace over the places that still ache. Say you can heal at the speed of trust. Do not rush them, do not scold them, do not display them for sympathy. Wrap them in the gentleness you give to others without charging a fee. Healing loves to grow where gentleness is the climate. There is a horizon with your fingerprints already pressed into it. You will arrive and recognize it not by the scenery, but by the way your soul sighs, home. When you do, you won't forget the road behind you. You'll plant wayfinding markers for those still walking the same way tonight planted a lantern for you. This is how mercy travels, one lit window at a time, across neighborhoods of hearts. If the tears return, let them. They are not regressions, they rinses. Let them run until the water is clear. Then lift your face and notice how the room smells faintly of rain and something baking in a kitchen you cannot yet see. That's the scent of becoming storms passing, nourishment on its way. When you speak next to someone who has hurt you, choose sentences that tell the truth without inviting warfare. I am not available for that version of me anymore. I'm choosing peace, and that choice also chooses my distance. If they mock your softness, remember, softness is not weakness when it is guarded by clarity. Your boundaries are gates, not walls. They swing for love and hold for harm. And to the part of you that still doubts you are worthy of this gentleness, come closer. Stand where the light is kind. Hear this, and let it settle where logic can't reach. You have been fought for. You are being guided, and you are not late. Your story has learned new music. Tonight you heard the first notes. Tomorrow you will hum them without noticing, and the rooms you enter will feel different because a song is entering with you. When the clock tips toward your appointed moment, return to your paper. Add one more line, just one, about the person you are meeting on the other side of this threshold. Write them in present tense, brave, tender, steady, luminous. Then sign your name beneath. Not to make it legal, but to make it love. You are signing a friendship with your future. If you want to seal it, touch the folded cloth once more and thank it for the burdens it symbolized. You honored them. You carried them farther than anyone knew. You can put them down now. Not to forget, but to free your hands for what is arriving. Then open your palms as if catching soft rain. Let them stay open for a few breaths. That posture teaches your life how to receive without bracing. Finally, return to the quiet you started with. Feel the hush wearing a smile now. Feel the chair beneath you as an ally, not a trap. Feel the room's edges soften as if the walls themselves are relieved that you chose yourself. This is what the beginning of a new chapter feels like, not fireworks, but a steady light that refuses to leave. When you're ready, lift your face and walk gently into the rest of your evening. The message may fade from the screen, but it has already moved into the bones of your choices. Carry it the way a lighthouse carries its beam without effort, simply by being what it is. And when the next door whispers, you'll recognize the voice. You'll smile. You'll whisper back, "I am ready," and step through again. Archangel Michael says, "Stay with me a little longer, the window is still open, and what I began to untie, I will finish tonight." Your spirit is adjusting to a larger room. That's why you feel both lighter and strangely awake. This alertness isn't anxiety, it's readiness. You're noticing sounds you once ignored, meanings you once dismissed, doors you once assumed were just walls with good manners. Begin with what is nearest: your breath, your body, your name. Say your name in a whisper and let it feel like a homecoming. You have worn it through storms, and somehow it still fits. Now it will fit with ease instead of tension. Rub your hands together and feel the heat bloom. That warmth is not just friction. It is a signal. It says we are here, we are alive, we can choose. There is a map folded inside your chest, the kind sailors kept in oilskin to survive bad weather. You felt corners of it when you've made brave choices. You've seen hints of its coastlines and dreams. Tonight, unfold one more section. You don't need the whole cartography to move. You need the next shoreline. Let the inked lines tell you. Turn where gentleness appears. Rest where laughter lightens the oars. Walk where the ground feels honest underfoot. If the room around you carries old echoes, raised voices, stale apologies, open a window in your mind. Imagine fresh air entering, not to erase history, but to air out the corners where shame tried to nest. You are not obligated to replay what hurt you in order to prove you survived it. You have already survived it. Now you are learning how to live beyond it without looking over your shoulder for permission. There will be a message in the next day that tries to bait you into an old argument. It will have the scent of urgency and the tone of accusation. Do not take the bait. You don't have to be present for every fire someone else starts. You can be the river instead, cool, steady, impossible to burn. Respond when you have breath, and respond from truth, not from heat. This is how your peace learns it can trust you. Take inventory of your tenderness. Where does kindness return to you most easily? Through music, movement, a page, the quiet of early morning. Prioritize those doors. This is not luxury. It is maintenance of the soul. When you tend what keeps you kind, you become a safe place for your own heart, and safe hearts make clear choices without theatrics. I see you receiving a small compliment soon, one you would normally bat away with a joke. Don't deflect it. Let it land and stay. Compliments are mirrors heaven borrows to show you angles you deny. When you accept them, you're not agreeing to hubris. You're agreeing to accuracy. Humility is not pretending you are dim. It's acknowledging the light and using it to see others better. You will feel a nudge to rearrange a corner of your space, a shelf, a desk, a bag you carry. Follow it. Spiritual change often asks for physical signals. Clearing space tells your nervous system that life is allowed to feel simpler. As you move objects, bless them. As you let some go, thank them. Gratitude closes chapters without leaving loose pages to flap in wind. There is a conversation with your younger self waiting behind your ribs. Sit with them for a minute. Give them water. Tell them they don't need to keep watch at the window anymore. You are here now, the adult with tools, the guardian with patience, the friend who won't trade their softness for approval. Watch how that younger self settles, how the air in your chest expands. This is what integration feels like. Everyone, you have been finally safe in one room. Your creativity has been knocking faintly, convinced you're too busy to answer. Leave the door ajar. You don't have to produce a masterpiece. You only have to play. Scribble a line, hum a tune, test a recipe, plant a seed. Play uncoils your spirit. It reminds your brain that not every path ends in an evaluation. Sometimes the path ends in laughter, and laughter is holy work. Expect an invitation that seems beneath your current skill or above it. In both cases, fear will pose as discernment. Ask this: does my peace expand when I consider a modest yes? If it does, step forward. Heaven often hides upgrades in humble wrappers, so you'll choose them for alignment rather than applause. You'll know it's right because forcing won't be required. Only faith will. Write a short letter to your future morning. 3 lines. First, what you released tonight. Second, what you are receiving instead. Third, one gentle instruction: drink water before you check your phone. Move your body for 10 minutes. Speak kindly to the mirror. Place the letter where your eyes will meet it at sunrise. Ritual is memory's ally. Let it help you bridge night to day without losing what was given. If loneliness circles your house like weather, light something small, a candle, a soft lamp, and tell loneliness it can sit but it cannot speak for you. Loneliness is not proof of unlovability. It is proof of capacity. You have room inside you for deep connection. Of course, that room notices when it is quiet. Keep the room ready, not desperate. Keep it warm, not crowded with placeholders who can't honor it. You may be tempted to collect new rules tonight, lists and lists that promise safety in exchange for rigidity. Choose principles instead. A principle is flexible and faithful. It sounds like, I tell myself the truth. I rest before I'm empty. I don't prove my worth by overgiving. I listen for gentleness. Principles weather storms better than rules because they bend where rules break. Someone who underestimated you will witness you choose peace over performance, and it will confuse them. Don't perform to soothe their confusion. Let your life be the explanation. You did not arrive here by accident. You arrived by 1,000 quiet choices to keep returning to light even when the night was persuasive. That is expertise worth honoring. Let's speak to fear directly. Fear, thank you for guarding us when chaos ruled the room. Thank you for telling us when a boundary was needed. You're safe now. You can ride in the back seat. We'll call you when roads are icy. Otherwise, enjoy the view. See how your body exhales at that. Authority without aggression, that's maturity. There is a kindness you owe yourself that you've been saving for when you deserve it. Spend it now. Buy yourself the hour, the book, the quiet. Cook the meal that nourishes instead of numbs. Take the walk that steadies instead of distracts. These simple acts build a floor under your days so sudden winds don't drop you through old trapdoors. If a dream returns a brave one you shelved when life's volume was too loud, meet it at the door and ask how it prefers to grow this time. Dreams evolve. What once needed a stage might now ask for a studio. What once needed a crowd might now ask for a cohort. The point isn't visibility. The point is fidelity. Be faithful to what brings you alive. Your boundaries will soon be tested with a polite request that costs your peace. Practice your sentence now. I don't have capacity for that, but thank you for understanding. You need not apologize for protecting what keeps you whole. Apologies belong to harm, not to health. You are not harming by saying no. You are honoring the shape of your finite, sacred life. The future version of you, the one with relaxed eyes and a steady gait, keeps sending back small gifts. Patience when you're cut off in traffic. Clarity in a tough email. Tenderness with a tired friend. Watch for these boomerang blessings. They're proof that time is not just moving forward, it's moving in favor. You are borrowing strength from who you're becoming, and you will pay it forward with dividends of peace. When memory drags you toward the courtroom, in your head evidence stacked, defense prepared, close the door gently. Courts are for disputes. Your mind is a home, not a courthouse. Replace trial with table. Invite compassion and accountability to sit together. Let them talk like old friends. From that conversation, decisions arrive without whips or chains. I want you to picture a bridge at dusk. You are halfway across. Behind you, the city glows with the lessons you've learned. Ahead, the shore hums with beginnings you can't name yet. Stop in the middle. Lean on the railing. Feel the structure hold. The feeling that trust in what you stand on is what tonight is pouring into your bones. You can stand. You can pause. You won't fall. In the coming week, keep a small evidence log. Jot down 3 moments a day when alignment found you. A boundary kept. A breath chosen. A laugh unforced. Read them back at week's end. You'll see pattern where you once saw luck. Patterns form paths. Paths become ways of life. This is how the extraordinary takes root in ordinary hours. If regret shows up with its suitcase, open it. Take out the lessons and fold them neatly in your dresser. The rest, the self-punishment, the theatrical size, place back in the suitcase and hand it to me. I'll carry it far enough that you forget the weight. Learning remains. Lashes gone. You're not required to bleed to prove you care. Call in your courage with a tangible cue. Touch the doorframe each time you walk into a room and think, I bring light. It may feel simple, even silly. Good. The heart loves simple. Repetition teaches the soul the steps of a dance you'll soon do without counting. Before long, light arrives when you arrive, not because you force it, but because you've become hospitable to it. You will remember someone you haven't reached out to in too long. Send a small message. No thesis, just a thinking of you. Connection doesn't demand performances. It thrives on presence. That ping may unlock a conversation that restores both of you. the way two tuning forks hum when brought near. If you have been carrying quiet anger at your own body for not keeping pace with your ambitions, let that anger rest. Thank your body for every mile it carried you without applause, the early mornings, the last-minute sprints, the grief that sat in your muscles until it could be named. Promise it gentleness as you asked for strength. The body responds to being spoken to like a friend, not a mule. Now, return to your paker. At a line that begins with "I permit," fill it with what you've long denied. I permit joy without explanation. I permit rest without apology. I permit success without sabotage. I permit love that honors my yes and my no. Your permission matters. When you give it, the world learns how to treat you by watching how you treat yourself. Soon, a decision will present two good options. Choose the one that feels like clean water. Not the one that dazzles like neon. Not the one that flatters fear. Choose the one that tastes pure when you imagine living inside it. Purity here means congruence, your inner voice and outer life singing the same song without strain. If old coping tools reach for you, over-explaining, overworking, overthinking, pat their heads and guide them to the porch. Thank you, you'll say, but I'm inside now. The house of your life has more rooms than survival allowed. Explore them. Read by a window. Cook in the kitchen of curiosity. Sleep in the bedroom of trust. Invite loved ones into the living room of laughter. And if a night arrives when everything you learn seems to scatter like sparrows at a sudden noise, be gentle. Gather what returns first: breath, water, one true sentence. Whisper, I am not back at the beginning. I am passing through a weather pattern. Then wait for the sky to clear. It will. Weather is dramatic. Foundations are patient. You are building on patient things. Finally, take your folded cloth from earlier and lay it flat. Place your hand over it one last time. Speak this softly: you did what you were meant to do. You held what I could not carry in my hands while I learned how. Thank you. You can rest. Then fold it again and put it away, not as a relic of pain, but as a witness of courage. You'll be surprised how light you feel, like a room after clutter has been blessed and released. Walk forward now with unhurried steps. The message does not vanish from you. It only changes rooms, moving from your screen into your choices, from your ears into your bones, from my voice into your own. When you hear yourself say something kind and strong in the same breath, smile, that's me echoing through you. When you pause instead of panic, that's this night keeping its promise. And when the next invitation arrives, soft, specific, shaped like peace, answer it the way dawn answers dark, not with argument, but with light. Archangel Michael says, the night is patient with you, and I am too, so let's keep walking while your heart is warm and your mind is clear. You're not rushing toward a finish line. You're learning a new pace that lets goodness keep up with you. Think of this as a lantern-lit road. A few steps revealed at a time, enough to move, never so much that you forget to feel. If an old thought floats up, one that says you must earn what is already being offered, smile at it the way you'd smile at a familiar street that no longer leads home. You can be grateful for the times it helped you survive without giving it the keys to your new address. Survival was a necessary teacher. Peace is the current one. Let the curriculum change. Set a tiny ritual for the next 7 evenings. It can be as humble as 3 deep breaths at the door before you turn the handle, or one sentence you speak over your bed before you sleep. Let the night return me to myself. Small rituals make big transitions gentle. They teach the mind where to place its hands when the heart is learning a new dance. You will receive a message soon that arrives like a soft knock rather than a siren. It may be an invitation, a line in a post, a passing comment that makes your inner compass twitch toward true north. Don't analyze it to death. Dry it on like a coat. If your shoulders drop when you wear it, it's for you. If they tighten, it's not a punishment to put it back on the rack, it's wisdom. Here's a tenderness you show others that is asking quietly, respectfully to be aimed at yourself. Let it. You'll notice your inner voice changing shape from critic to companion. The critic got loud when you were scared of stagnation. The companion gets steady when you're choosing growth without harming yourself. Companion voices build houses. Critic voices keep you standing outside explaining blueprints to people who will never live there. When the morning comes, do one kind thing before you check what the world wants from you. Drink water. Stretch the back of your neck. Touch the frame of your door and remember that yesterday did not break you. These small obediences tell your life, we are steering now. You will be astonished how many storms a day can avoid once this steering decision is made at the start. A name will surface this week, the name of someone you haven't thought of in a long time. If your stomach knots, place your hand there and breathe until it loosens. Then say, I release the role I played in rehearsing our pain. You don't have to write, call, or fix the past. You simply stop auditioning for a part in a play that has closed. The theater is dark. The marquee is blank. It's time to walk to a brighter street. Your generosity is changing form. It will look less like rescuing and more like resourcing. Rescuing says, your need decides me. Resourcing says, my clarity guides me. You'll still be kind. You'll be kinder. In fact, because you'll be honest about what you can offer without turning your heart into a self-serve buffet for every appetite. Watch how peace increases when you make this turn. If a day gets heavy, give it a doorway. Step outside, stand where you can see anything living, tree, sky, the plant on a windowsill, and whisper a fragment of truth. I am still here. This is a moment, not my identity. My breath reaches farther than my worry. Always chained the air changes upins chained of him. You are allowed to step through as often as you need. You'll notice laughter visiting again without a reservation. Let it be loud. Laughter rinses judgment out of joy. It isn't frivolous to laugh. It's faithful. It says, I see the danger and the deliverance, and I choose to feed the light. People who love you will recognize the sound. People who use your quiet as proof you were manageable may look confused. Keep laughing. Write a short list titled Proof I Am Returning. Keep it simple. Slept deeply. Said no kindly. Asked for help without apology. Cooked something that smelled like memory. Walked slower than my worry. Tuck the list where your tired eyes will find it. On hard afternoons, this list will be a hand on your shoulder, steering you back to what is true when noise tries to narrate you. There's a memory that used to bring heat to your face, the kind that made you want to leave rooms you were already in. It will visit soon and not shame you. It will arrive like a teacher who finally changed from a red pen to a pencil. You'll see that you learned something from it besides self-distrust. You learned discernment. You learned how to hear the tone behind the words. You learned how to not trade your peace for proximity. That's worth honoring. Reclaim an ordinary joy you postponed because sorrow was louder. The bench where you liked the view, the song you saved for a better mood, the recipe your hands know even when your mind is busy. Ordinary joys are not consolation prizes, they are anchors. Tie your days to them and watch the tide behave. If the temptation arises to prove your transformation to someone who prefers the old you, choose quiet. Let time do the talking. Growth that must be announced isn't stable yet. Growth that can sit and sip water in a sunlit corner will be obvious soon enough. Your life will publish the update without a press release. Speak this sentence when you feel rushed. I will not be bullied by urgency that isn't mine. Real emergencies will still get your best. False alarms will stop stealing your breath. You'll build room in your schedule where spontaneity can land without knocking everything over. Peace loves a spacious table. You are going to surprise yourself with courage. Not the dramatic kind that climbs mountains while being filmed, but the quiet kind that turns off the phone, looks a habit in the eye and says, "No more." Quiet courage changes families. It routes histories. It teaches children and elders alike that love can be both soft and structured, like a river that sings while it carves canyons. Before the weekends, extend forgiveness in a very specific way. Forgive the hour of the day when you feel most vulnerable. Maybe it's the afternoon stretch that tastes like disappointment. Maybe it's the late night that smells like old mistakes. Bless that hour. Put something gentle there on purpose, a text to a safe person, a walk, a page of writing no one has to see. Intention turns haunted rooms into hospitable ones. Keep an eye out for the color that has been following you on a sign, in a shirt, across the sky. Colors are reminders. Choose a small object in that hue and make it your token for this season. When you see it, let it remind you of the vow you signed earlier: brave, tender, steady, luminous. This is not superstition. It is friendship with your own attention. Archangel Michael says, you will soon feel the urge to make a promise to yourself in public. Gauze. Make it in private first and keep it quietly for 7 days. Private kept promises build muscles that public declarations sometimes borrow and forget to repay. After 7 days, if the promise is still warm and alive, you can share it and it will carry its own weather. If a piece of news arrives that once would have sent you spiraling, watch your response with gentle awe. Notice the new steadiness. Notice how you reach for breath before you reach for doom. This is not you becoming numb. This is you becoming rooted. The tree doesn't argue with the wind. It hums and holds. You are learning the hymn. When you give today, try giving something invisible, the benefit of the doubt, an interruption resisted, an apology untangled from shame. Invisible gifts recalibrate rooms faster than grand gestures. They also protect your energy, because you're not performing, you're practicing alignment. There may be a moment when your inner child wants to run, hide, or prove. Catch their hands gently. Say, we don't have to disappear to be safe. We don't have to audition to be love. Then offer a tiny replacement action, a sip of water, a counted breath, a kind sentence said out loud. Small moves rewire big patterns when done with consistency and care. If you notice an old ache in your body, lighten, celebrate it with motion. Stretch, dance slowly in your kitchen, take stairs at a pace that feels like a conversation with your legs. Movement seals the change into muscle memory. Your body loves to remember that freedom isn't only a thought, it is an action you can feel from the soles of your feet to the line of your jaw. Invite gratitude in without theatrical music. Let it be simple. This chair is holding me. This roof is keeping its promise. This heartbeat is keeping time. Gratitude is not denial of pain. It's a declaration of resources. You are not empty. You are resourced. Even in the lean places, there is a loaf that breaks into enough when shared with care. You will see someone else's breakthrough and feel a sting. Don't shame the sting. It's just the place in you that longs for similar light. Bless their good, then talk to your longing kindly. We're not being left behind, we're being prepared. Watch how the sting dissolves into inspiration when jealousy is not fed but understood. Revisiting your boundaries, you'll notice some are fences that no longer fit. Upgrade them to gates with hinges that work. A good boundary knows how to open and close in rhythm with wisdom. You will feel this in your bones. I am not shutting life out. I am letting love in and letting harm pass by. This is advanced kindness to yourself and to others. Write one sentence you can take into any room. I can be fully myself without making anyone else small. Carry it like a stone in your pocket. Rub it when old patterns tap you on the shoulder. You will become the kind of presence that quietly raises ceilings for everyone without being asked to reduce your height. If money anxiety whispers, give it a job. You are here to remind me to check facts, to make a plan, to ask for counsel if I need it. When anxiety has a job, it stops throwing papers and starts organizing them. Facts bring light. Plans bring options. Counsel brings perspective. Together they build a table where fear can sit without flipping it. Schedule something your heart looks forward to that costs little and pays much. A call with someone who knows your laugh, a free gallery, the park at sunrise, the bakery where the air tastes like butter. Anticipation is medicine, and teaches your days to lean toward joy on purpose. And when the next quiet test arrives, the micro moment where you could repeat a tiny self-betrayal or choose a tiny self-honor, choose honor. Choose it without ceremony. Choose it without posting. Choose it because your future self already sent you the strength to do so. You'll feel the click inside, the same click doors make when they close cleanly and softly. That sound will become familiar. Archangel Michael says, "You are deeper than the last thing that hurt you and brighter than the next thing that tries to distract you." Your story is walking with a new cadence now, steady-footed, clear-eyed, soft-palmed. Keep the paper near. Keep the water close. Keep the gate oiled. And keep listening for the hush that turns into guidance the moment you breathe. If you need a final act tonight, place your palm over your heart and your other hand over your stomach. Align the two rhythms, the drum and the tide. Whisper, "We are on the same team." That sentence means more than you can measure. It brings your thinking and your feeling into a friendship that can carry you across crowded days and quiet nights without losing each other. You will sleep differently. You will wake with room around your thoughts. You will notice that old triggers act like strangers who wave from across the street rather than intruders who barge in. That's not you getting lucky, that's you getting well. Wellness is not loud. It is faithful. It is you, continuing to choose the next kind thing, and the next, and the next until the life around you matches the life within you.